Sean McFadden asks, Fire Emblem Fates really changed up how Nintendo handled a game with two different versions. Would you like to see something like this for Pokémon? Perhaps Sun and Moon could have different protagonists and both have completely different campaigns, but overlap in a way. I could see them doing the third version as a downloadable third campaign in the story, like Revelations. How cool would a collector's edition with all three versions on one cart be? Thoughts?
I'm very strongly leaning towards I do not like this idea, and the reason why I do not like this idea is because I do not think that Pokemon is or should be a story-driven video game.
100% with you.
Pokemon is and should be a socially driven game, and the way that they've leveraged versions historically is you get one version, your friends get another version, and you team up to trade in battle. Right. And that's worked really well for the franchise in the past. That's been sort of its defining feature. I would hate for them to try to morph that into more of the Fire Emblem Fates business model, where they're not only trying to kind of offer versions that are appealing to different people, but also trying to get people to buy every single version. Because really, to have the full Fire Emblem Fates experience, you need to buy all three of the stories. And I would hate for that to be the model for Pokemon. And I love the way it is now, where there's really just one game and then they make an expansion later.
Right, and Pokemon, it's got that crucial difference for the two-version system, because Pokemon, your experience doesn't change whichever version you buy. You're not missing out on anything by not getting Blue version, by not getting Silver version. You are missing out on stuff by not getting whatever other version of Fire Emblem Fates there was. And the difference is that Fire Emblem Fates was originally made as one game for Japan. So, you know, Pokemon works because they just take a couple of monsters out and you can trade across. What's that?
Colin, Fire Emblem Fates was not one game in Japan.
It wasn't?
No.
I thought that's what the whole Fury was about, is that it came out on one card in Japan, and we had a discussion, I think, that we were hoping it would not be split up into three versions when it came to America.
Yeah, I think it was rumored that it would be one game in the West, if I remember right.
Yes.
Really?
Yes. Sorry, I think I heard you mention this on a previous episode, but I just wanted to call it out now because I'm sure that that's...
Oh, no, yeah, thank you. That blows my mind. I could have sworn that was what the entire controversy was
there was a White Kingdom version and a Black Kingdom version, and that translated to Birthright and Conquest. Yeah.
All right, well, okay.
I don't know if this is going to make it in the recording, but the going theory was that Fire Emblem was popular in Japan, and so they were trying to monetize the hell out of it, and we thought that wasn't going to be the case in the West, and then, of course, it was.
Right.
Anyway,
sidebar.
So I don't know what your point will now be.
I think that's probably the end of it. I don't know. If anyone else has any comments.
Colin derailed.
Yeah, I like what you said about you're not really missing out on anything by not getting both versions, because the trading really is part of the game. You have to trade to evolve a lot of Pokemon anyway. They certainly want you to interact with other people who have the other version anyway. And as time goes on, as you keep getting, the next generation, you're eventually going to be able to have access to most of them, if not all of them anyway. Yeah. So you really don't ever need to buy both versions. And whereas, I feel like unless you really are just okay with just playing half of the story of Fire Emblem Fates, you really need to buy at least the second game.
Yeah. Hello everybody, thank you for listening to this Nintendo Week clip, NWC. If you like what you hear, please subscribe to us here on YouTube for more highlights and discussion videos from Nintendo Week podcast, or subscribe to us on iTunes for weekly breakdowns of all your Nintendo news, discussion segments on subjects, games, and more, and tons of other features. Thanks for listening, and we will see you tomorrow with another NWC.